Yeah, good day everyone. Welcome to your biology classroom. I am Lawal Aditunji, your biology tutor. Welcome to your biology classroom, to our returning viewers. To our new viewers, please do well to press the subscribe button, press the like button, press the notification button, share the link, and put your comments in the comment box. As you have all know, we are still in the season of Neco 2025 and biology practical specimens and the information have been distributed nationwide. So if you check very well in our last video, we did introduction to Neco 2025 biology practical, which I believe you have watched. If you have not watched, please do well to watch. Today we are opening or we are starting the practical properly. So I can call this video you are watching biology practical part 1 because we need to take our time to break down all the specimens given to us and bring out the possible questions that you can ask us and likewise answer it. Now, if you check very well, we have the following specimens. We have housefly as specimen A, spider as specimen B, pride of Barbados flower as specimen C, specimen D we have the bean seed, specimen E we have butterfly, specimen F we have the crayfish, specimen G we have grasshopper, specimen H we have humerus of a rabbit, I we have the femur of a rabbit, J we have orange fruit, K we have honeybee, we have land snail for L, M we have the guava fruit, the N we have the Irish potato tuber, and O we have sweet potato tuber. These are the specimens we are going to be analyzing one after the other, and likewise bring out the differences, similarities between the close specimens. So without wasting your time, now let's start analyzing it by bringing out the possible questions they can ask us in this year Neco biology practical. Now we start. In this episode, we are going to be working with specimen A, starting with specimen A rather. Now on specimen A, what are the possible questions they can ask us on specimen A, which is housefly? They will tell us to make a label diagram or a label drawing 10 cm to 12 cm long of specimen A. You will see the diagram on our screen. As I'm speaking right now. So what are those things you need to take notice when you are drawing your specimen A? When you are drawing your specimen A, make sure that your labelings are on your side, on a side like this, on your right side. I don't know how you are watching on your screen, but let me just say, if I'm backing the screen, it should be on my right side. When you are writing, when you are writing, just write it on your right side. Let your labelings be well arranged on the right side, and that's number 1. And 2, before you do your before you draw, 4 of us take your ruler to measure 12 cm. Mark the beginning, mark the end, so that all your diagram that you want to draw will be within that range, and let it be bigger. Let it be bigger. I don't want to say you should draw a rectangular box and you place diagram inside, but once you mark the beginning and the end that marks that 12 cm, and let your drawing cover like a 10 to 11 or 11 cm, because they have already given you the size you want, because that size also will tell in your magnification, because there is no way you will draw a specimen in biology practical. You must indicate your magnification. What I mean by magnification is the size of the image over the size of the object. You know, the size they are given to you here is your size of image, that is maybe 10 cm, 11 cm, 12 cm. That is the size of the image. Now the real specimen, you place your ruler on it, you measure it. That's the size of your object. The one on my board here is the size of the image, while the one you want to measure, the real specimen you are measuring, in the size of the object. You take the measurement, the answer you get, you put it there. Maybe you now, after drawing the diagram, you now say magnification or mg or mag or anyhow you want to call it, times, if your magnification is 2, times 2. That's how they will know that you have perfected, you have done it right in drawing your diagram. So I move to question B. They said you state two adaptations of specimen A to its mode of life. I and you have known housefly to be the specimen A. What are those features that it has that make it to be living its own life? And here I made the solution possible. I only gave out two, we have many. I and you know housefly very well in our environment. So here I mentioned something that it has a sticky parts and claws. That's why especially those people that have wounds, you will see the way housefly will handle their wounds very well, they are cut very well because of this sticky parts and claws. The thing will make it to be firm, and from there we're picking up the nutrients it needs. And another feature it has, because you state two adaptation of A to its mode of life. You say it has sticky parts, claws for clinches to the surface. And number two, it possesses spongy mouth part for feeding on liquids. That's its own device for feeding. It has a mouth and it's using it for feeding. And you also other features you can measure. You talk about its mode of life. You can even talk about its presence of wind, because we want to kill the housefly. It will fly away or it will go on its way due to the presence of the wings. Now number three question, or let me say the C part of the question they asked us, they said classify specimen A. I and you have no specimen A is housefly. Definitely, when I ask you should classify it based on phylum, housefly belongs to a kingdom of Animalia. You know that one. But they didn't ask us the kingdom, they asked us the phylum. Which phylum is it? Which belongs to the phylum of Arthropoda. It belongs to the family of Arthropoda. We talked about the poda, we're talking about the family of legs, that we use leg to classify the poda, legs. So the phylum is Arthropoda, while the class is Insecta. It's an insect. Housefly is an insect, so the class is Insecta. Then let's talk about mode of feeding. When you talk about housefly, it feeds on anything decaying. That's why I mentioned earlier about wound. Someone that has cut, that has wound, definitely their surface will be rotting. If the surface is rotting, definitely housefly will be very glad to be there to feed on the nutrients. So the mode of feeding is saprophytic. And when we talk about sapro talks about a mode of feeding on dead or decaying organic matter. That's when we talk about saprophytic, feeding on the dead, feeding on the remnants. So now I move to 2B. The 2B says something. Before I go to 2B, I then face my question. It says I'm now on specimen B. I am now on specimen B. And what's about specimen B? I and you know that specimen B is spider. And I love this matching. Specimen A housefly, specimen B spider. Definitely they must ask you the relationship between housefly and spider. And I and you know in our community, in our environment, that we know there's a close relationship between housefly and spider. Spiders feed on housefly. So let's follow the question they asked. The first question they will ask you about specimen B, which is spider, is that they will ask you to make a labeled drawing of, if I mention the name here, but they won't mention the name for you. Make a labeled drawing of specimen. Let me write here. Make the way they present, they say make a labeled drawing of specimen B. Make a labeled drawing of specimen B showing its body division and legs. You will see this diagram on your screen. You will see it on your screen. So make a labeled drawing of specimen B showing its body division and leg. That body division is a point of attraction. That's what is catching in the diagram. That's why they want you to show us. And they say you should state three differences between specimen A and specimen B. Like I said they have relationship. A and B, they have relationship. And what are the differences between them, which I want to show you right now. When you talk about specimen A, which is housefly, housefly has three body segments. That is the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. So we have it has a three. It has a three body. It has three body. It has three body segments. I take it again. The differences between specimen A and specimen B in biology, anytime they have to differentiate, you tabulate. Let me even say in science generally, whenever they have to differentiate, you tabulate generally. That is, you draw your table to separate them. You don't use Y. You don't use Y in science. So now specimen A has three body segments. while specimen B has 2 body segments. That is, instead of specimen B to have 3 bodies, it has been fused together. So in which it has killed the middle one. So, and going to number 2, differences, it has 6 legs. Specimen A, your housefly, has 6 legs. If you take your time also to take housefly and you count the number of legs, we have 6. And for the specimen B, the spider, it has 8 legs. Okay, it has 8 legs. Another one said here is that it has antenna. It has antenna. Your housefly has antenna. And when you talk about specimen B, it doesn't have antenna. Likewise, we have many. I just mentioned 3 here. I want to tell you this one as well. Since we have known even from our file of our class, specimen A is insecta. It belongs to the class insecta. Definitely, specimen B belongs to the class of what? Arachnida. So telling you have added another differences. Also, we have a lot of differences, but let me just limit it there. And the next question said that we should mention 2 ways specimen B captures its prey. Remember, I told you that specimen A and B, they have relationship. That is prey and predator. So spider feeds on housefly. So they're not telling us something that mention 2 ways specimen B captures its prey, and luckily its prey is the housefly. What are the ways that it captures specimen A or captures prey generally? I wrote it that it captures prey by spinning sticky webs. Spider and webs. Once it finds the sticky webs, what happens? There will be convulsion to the prey. The prey can never go anywhere again. It will be on that web. The web will be holding the prey, and definitely what will be the next thing? It feeds on it. And the next one is that it was by injecting venom to immobilize the prey. Once the prey has been injected by its venom, definitely it will be weakening all the body system of that particular prey. Will be what will be done, and no story. It will be what it will be fed on. So that's it. Now the last question here on this episode says that state 2 similarities between specimen A and B. Remember, we have talked about the differences. We will talk about the similarities. That is, they are very close to one another. As we have the differences, they also have the similarities. What are the similarities between specimen A and B? I'm very glad to tell you that though we may not want to say that they belong to the same kingdom, Animalia, but we can start picking up our similarities from the phylum. They belong to the same phylum. They are arthropoda. That's what I'm showing us right now. They are arthropoda, and likewise, they have external skeleton. So we can say they have exoskeleton. Those are the similarities between the 2 of them. We see how much similarities, but just to mention few of the similarities. So I think that will settle all the questions we have here for specimen A and specimen B. Like I told you that this specimen runs from A to O, and we are going to take our time to break down everything. Don't need to rush, since we want to bring out all the possible questions. So that whenever you are writing your exam or you see the questions on that day, you will have known that you have met this question or you have come across this question one way or the other. That's why I said we will not rush. So in this video, we have settled information about specimen A and specimen B, and likewise I believe you can see the diagrams on your screen for specimen A, and there will still be more questions. It will be shown to you on the next episode or the next video. But remember, our specimen runs from A to O. We have only done specimen A and B in this video. That is, in your next video, you also watch out for the remaining specimen. Like I told you in the beginning, we are not going to rush ourselves. We need to bring out all the possible questions, so that whenever you see question as a candidate that want to write this exam, when you see the question, you know that this is a question I have seen or the question I have revised on. So that's the reason why I say we will not rush. But in this episode or in this video, we have settled specimen A, specimen B. If there will be additional information, it will be supplied to you also in our next video. Please do well to watch our videos. Check our playlist. Check our playlist very well. There are a lot of videos for you to watch, especially for this practical that will help you, and likewise for the theory. Once again, I want to say that you need to please turn on your notification button, because we do go on live. We do always do live programs, that is live classroom like this. We always do live classroom, and likewise we release videos. Anytime we are on live, or we release videos, you'll be the first one to see our video. So I'll be waiting to see you in the next video. Bye.